Hey, what's going on? No introduction needed. We're here today at the end of October. It's almost Halloween. Hopefully, you got your Halloween costumes. Do some of you don't? Do some of you even need Halloween costumes? Yeah. Do some of you need Halloween costumes? How ugly we are, in the outside and inside. Because that's how startups are. Startups are ugly. And today we will go over incorporation, when to start, when to create, when to file a Delaware C Corp versus a LLC versus a S Corp versus incorporating offshore in the Bahamas, incorporating in the Cayman Islands, incorporating, you know, as a anonymous entity. We will go all of those today because of one thing, is taxes. No one wants to pay enormous taxes, 40% on taxes. If you incorporate a C Corp, you're going to be double taxed. That's why there's a lot of strategies of dodging taxes. It's not people, there's not a crime. That's not a crime to dodge taxes. That's why Donald Trump is still president. Or is that a bad joke? Probably it was. But anyhow, today we will go over Gust. Should you use Gust versus Clerky versus Harvard Inc.? There's a whole bunch of incorporation services. Which ones floats your boat, basically? Does Gus float your boat? Does Clerky float your boat? Does Harvard Inc. float your boat? Well, today we would probably try to go over some things that I learned in my several years of startups, with incorporations, with equity, stock, options, and all that other good stuff. Basically, I went through it all. I always tell the story. My first startup was basically, I used to live in Tijuana and I was applying for jobs. I didn't have much experience in marketing or coding. And this one guy, he told me, come meet him in Palo Alto for coffee. I said, okay, I'll go meet him. And, first off, he called me up. He said, I told him, I did some SEO, some website development. He says, great. It sounds like you're the kid I need to hire tomorrow. And I was like, what? And I was like, cool. And I said, where are you at? He says, Palo Alto. And I said, I didn't say I was in Mexico. I was in Tijuana. I was living in Tijuana because the rent was cheap. And I didn't have much money. He says, well, meet me tomorrow in a coffee shop in Palo Alto at, I think it was like 9 a.m. And I was like, okay, well, what did I have to lose? So I drove throughout. I got like 5 coffees, and I drove the whole night through the border, San Diego County, Orange County, LA County, Ventura County, Santa Barbara County, San Luis Obispo County, Santa Maria, you name it, Gilroy. I drove through the whole night, got there. Got there like at 8 a.m. Went to the 24-hour fitness, showered, changed, and boom, And basically, it was a meeting. It wasn't an interview. It was a meeting between a VC and him. He was trying to start a social media platform. It was called Glue. And basically, he was trying to start a social media platform, and he had a meeting with an investor, and he had no one to show up with him at this investor meeting. and I was the only one there that showed up with him with his investor meeting at the coffee shop in Palo Alto. So I got there at the coffee shop. I didn't see him, and he was actually outside on his computer, coding the social media app. It was an app. It was a video social app that you record your video and it showed on your profile all these videos and stuff like that. It was very Snap 1.0 at the time. It was like years ago. It was like maybe 2012, 2013, or one of those years. I can't remember. It was years ago. I was just like young pump, just fresh out of college. I was dumb. I didn't know what to, like, I didn't have no job experience, no nothing. I think the most job experience I held was IT help desk. So we got to the coffee shop. He was outside. I went past him in the car. I didn't even see him. I didn't recognize him. I went inside the coffee shop. I didn't see him. I looked around. I went back outside and I saw him. I was like, "Oh boy, hey, are you the person who was calling me?" And he saw, "Oh, Jesse, you must be Jesse." I said, "Yeah." I shook his hand, everything. Boom.